Very good afternoon to all of you. We have amongst us Manoj G S. Manoj is an All India ranker, an achiever this time. Extreme pleasure. On a personal note, I must say I'm very happy to see Manoj's name in the list. And since almost 2 years that we have known each other now, this is a result that I waited for very deeply. More so because he's been a disciplinarian, and every time we speak to him, he speaks a lot that he can offer to service, and much more because he's a public administration student also. That apart, we have Manoj amongst us, so let's understand a little about the feelings he's gone through since yesterday and all that idea. So Manoj, once you saw the results yesterday, 2 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಈ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, 3ನೇ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಂತವಾಗಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ, ಆಸ್ ಸೂನ್ ಎಸ್ ಯು ಸಾ ಯುವರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಯು?
Sir, first of all, when the results came, I was a bit scared to open the result because that one PDF can change our life. And if you are not in the list, again we have to start from zero again. And at the same time, when I saw the results, I was really relieved. And then the happiness struck me. So in my case, as soon as I saw the results, I called my parents. Especially my father was really happy, and even he couldn't speak at that moment. And all the support that I have received throughout the years, so making them feel proud. I felt proud about myself, and I felt thankful for all the support that I have received over the years. So that is my feelings.
Lot of relief, lot of happiness that come in, especially when you see that happiness to your parents. That's when you would have been speechless.
Yes, sir.
ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಖುಷಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇನೋ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes,
ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಸೇಸ್, ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಖುಷಿಯಲ್ಲಿ.
Yes, sir.
ಈಗ ಯು ಸೆಡ್ as soon as you got the list, you were a little scared.
Yes, sir.
So you have already gone through this feeling.
Yes, sir.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ನೀವು ಅದೇ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಫೀಲಿಂಗು ಈ ಸತಿ ನೋಡೋದು, ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು?
So last year was my first interview. So last year, because it is our first interview, we will be very excited about the results, hoping that we will be in the list. So, but when I saw that I was not in the list last year, so the transformation that happened within me in the last 1 year, I became more stoic. I started taking things at that particular moment rather than worrying about the future. So even right now, even after my interview, I had continued my optional as well as essay and ethics preparation, preparing for the next cycle. Because in the end, even if you have put in complete 100% of our efforts, sometimes things may not go our way. But it is better to be pragmatic and prepare for the next cycle. So when I saw the list, so I was relieved. But at the same time, if I want to improve my rank next year, so I have to keep putting more efforts. So this is the difference that happened within 1 year.
Awesome. Very, very nice. That shows that how consistency speaks. Now, if we have to go back a little, Manoj is an NIT graduate. NIT Surathkal in the graduate ಆಗಿರೋರು. And he's written his first attempt when he was in his final year itself, which is allowed. So, generally NIT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಟ್ ಸಿಗೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ. You have achieved, and once you achieve NIT, most of them go for their post-graduation or work generally abroad. That's been the larger sense, alva? You have seen most of it. Why did the idea of civil service come to you, and that to the extent that final year alle bariyotara? So you have decided a little early and started preparation. How?
So firstly, the inspiration for civil services started from the age of 5 itself for me. So
age of 5?
Yes, sir. So my mother had inculcated the idea of civil services in my mind, and she truly believed in the power of education, sir. So she believed that if we provide educational support to even the poorest person, if the education can transform not only his life but the life of people around him and even the village or the broader level itself. So when I got into Navodaya Vidyalaya also, the ecosystem that it had created, so it pushed me towards civil services. And in my class 11th and 12th, my mentor, so he told me that being an IAS officer or IPS officer, it is not only about clearing an exam, but it is about being ready and being deserving enough for that particular role in next 35-40 years of our life. So that is why I got into NIT Surathkal, sir, which gives a lot of exposure with respect to real life leadership opportunities. As I was a part of Team Incident, which is one of the largest cultural fests in India. So that opportunity that I received helped me immensely, sir. And for me, someone who is from a very humble background, I knew that I couldn't afford the foundational coaching, which may sometimes run up to 1.52 lakhs. So I made a pragmatic decision to start preparation from the final year of college itself. So by the end of my final year college, when I wrote prelims, I was blessed to clear that prelims, and then I wrote mains, sir.
So I will stop you here to understand. Generally, the idea of NIT is not a very simple academics. ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತುಂಬ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ಪು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ವೈಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ವಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಟು ಯು? ವಿತೌಟ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ you did to gather resources for yourself, understand? Because first attempt means with self preparation is not a simple idea, especially it needs to come with some. So how did you take that?
Sir, first of all, during the college days, I want to thank my friends for all the support they provided, especially because we had a group of 20-30 people. Sometimes when they used to go out, they also used to call me like to come enjoy with them. But because of my commitments with respect to UPSC, I couldn't go. But still, they understood that aspect and they supported me a lot. So, in my final year of preparation itself, so because I had already written JEE examination, which is a objective MCQ-based examination, where I had scored a very good score. So, I understood that for approaching an MCQ-based examination, which is UPSC prelims, you have to think in terms of MCQs, you have to reverse engineer. So what I used to do is that along with the PYQs, I had solved more than 15,000 MCQs that year in the final year of my college itself for prelims. So when I solve around 10,000 to 15,000 MCQs, they for sure will be solving minimum 20 questions per theme.
Of all subjects, you have solved 15,000-20,000 MCQs.
Yes.
Okay.
Not all, like all subjects combined.
Combined.
Yes.
Okay.
So every theme we may solve more than 20 MCQs. So we will understand the blind spots that we had, or the areas that we didn't have the conceptual clarity on. So for me, I used to solve MCQs, then look, introspect, where did I go wrong? Why did I go wrong? Then I used to work on that, sir. So it became a gradual process, and then I started recognizing patterns. Then I started predicting the questions that may come from that particular theme. That helped me because, as we know, 2023 was the toughest prelims so far. So that helped me keep myself calm in the examination hall. So that is it.
So 2023 graduate, not from any simple idea, from NIT Surathkal, considered to be one of the toughest prelims because on ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ pattern change ಆಗಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇದಾಯಿತು. He still clears that prelims, writes mains. But going back a little in the same idea, that thought of in the final year, lot of placements happen, lot of them think of going abroad. So placements, masters, ಎಲ್ಲ options ಇದ್ದು. Why did you stick on to your idea of civil service? You could have definitely decided, let me work for 1 or 2 years, come back, let me do my post-graduation, then I will. How did this thought of civil services only stick in spite of very enticing other opportunities?
So in my case, I had a very good placement opportunity as well. I got placed in a very good company. But for me, I had a lot of clarity with respect to my UPSC preparation, and I had taken some suggestions from my own seniors who had been in UPSC cycle. So from their own understanding, what they said is that in UPSC, what matters the most is the momentum. So I had built a momentum over a year in the final year. So if I take a placement and work for 2 years, I may lose that momentum, and at the same time, I may lose the age also. Because in the ages of 21, 22, 23, we will be very energetic, and as the responsibilities pile up, the focus that we can give on UPSC reduces, sir. So I didn't want to take that gamble. So that is why the clarity that I had from the childhood helped me immensely to stick to UPSC itself, sir.
That's very, very important probably because the clarity that you have developed at a very young age and to stick on to that very effectively. When you started at any point, ಏನೋ ಒಂಚೂರು ಡೌಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಯಾವ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಫ್ ದಟ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 1, 2, 3 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಫಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಏನೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ?
Sir, to get any support in the UPSC ecosystem, so I gave prelims 2023. So when I proved myself that I could clear prelims, so I received a lot of support from my Navodaya seniors as well, from so many people around me who helped me in my further UPSC preparations. So initially, because I could clear prelims in the first prelims itself, there I got the confidence that if I put a lot of efforts, I'm a person who believes genuinely in hard work, sir. So I believe that if you are able to put 12 hours daily and consistently in the right direction, irrespective of our background, whether we are from Kannada medium, English medium, so if we keep that trust in ourselves, we could clear this exam, sir. So that trust that I could do it, so it may take years, but in the end, this is my goal. I have to do it. There is no other option. So I started thinking about plan B only after my third attempt this interview, because I didn't want to dilute my efforts that I am giving on UPSC, sir.
ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ?
Company
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ನೋ ಟು ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ he had, continued about working. His first attempt success gave him a lot of confidence and support from Navodaya. So coming to Navodaya now, Navodaya is a different style of education, completely residential.
Yes.
How much do you now reminiscence your Navodaya days, and how effectively that has helped you shape up?
Sir, we joined Navodaya at the tender age of 12 and we studied there till the age of 19, sir. So those are the those are the years where our personality is shaped. So in my case, Navodaya gave me a lot of opportunity to improve my personality, sir. Not only in academics, but in co-curricular activities, sports, or even the leadership aspects, such as being a school leader or NCC best cadet when I was in class 10th. And I participated in Indian National Mathematics Olympiad. All those opportunities were provided by Navodaya, sir. And not only to me, for every 80 students that enter Navodaya in a particular year, so if they could reach level 7 without the help of Navodaya, they could easily reach level 10 with the help of Navodaya, sir. So in this regard, for me, my own teachers, Navodaya teachers, they acted as second parents. They observed the initial mistakes that we commit. They treat us like their own children, and they corrected our mistakes. So I'm grateful to all the Navodaya teachers and Navodaya friends for shaping us who we are today. And at the same time, Navodaya is not just about those 7 years, sir. Even after those 7 years, so the support that Navodaya family provides, our alumni provide for any educational purposes or for any reason, that support, I believe, is one of the major reasons why Navodaya has grown as a very strong institution over the years, sir. So for that, I am grateful to all Navodaya family.
Navodaya has a unique setup. My recent experience with Navodaya in Chikjajur was the alumni have a year-wise roundup where every year there is a different batch which comes and conducts program for their upcoming students, give a lot of support programs. Very nice to hear. Navodaya is a different topic, specifically very happy to hear from that idea as such. Coming back to civil services, when you started your journey, first attempt mains, and you did not clear mains. At that point again, you had a very clear idea that you had to pursue, and you took up there. How did you choose things? How was the idea of I will take public administration as my optional, I will do this? How did you make those decisions? What was the source of information? What did you surround yourself with?
So, to be brutally honest, I chose an optional during my college years. So I had no idea about any optionals, sir. So then I went through some of the PYQs, some of the syllabus of different optionals. There I found that the public administration optional overlaps a lot with the general studies as well. And at the same time, it was because I had studied MBA courses in my final year. So many thinkers were overlapping in public administration as well, sir. So there I chose public administration. And because I hadn't prepared for an optional till I cleared prelims in my first attempt, then I started focusing on public administration. So I prepared for optional within 2 months. So then I worked on my optional over the next 1 year, but unfortunately I couldn't get a very good score that year. Hopefully I am getting a very good score, respectable score this time, sir.
Now, once you entered the preparation, staying on with optional, the idea of public administration optional has some amount of negativity surrounded. If you take public administration, score ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Was there any doubt at some point of time with optional change ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ಯಾ?
So, in my case, when I got the scorecard in 2024, my optional score was 190, which is one of the lowest scores for those who have given interview that year, sir. So then I introspected myself, then I talked to my mentors, then what they suggested, I realized that the mistakes were from my side, that I didn't understand the concepts in depth, or I didn't have more broader understanding about different perspectives and interlinking those perspectives and their evolution. So then I worked on those aspects, sir. So in that regard, when I started interlinking things in a better manner, so and when I started writing answers in a more simpler fashion rather than over analyzing or over complicating things, then I feel this time that has worked for me, sir. So we will receive marks card within few days. So let's see, sir.
So, the doubts about optional, the doubts about success has never troubled Manoj. You have reached interview last time. Compared to last year's interview experience and this year's interview experience, now that you have cleared, there may be few things that you feel this has gone well, this has worked for me. What is those few things?
So, in terms of interview experience, so in my first interview, I got overwhelmed. So, my brain couldn't process anything that the panel was asking. The panel was very supportive. They tried to calm me down, but I couldn't because of, I call it immaturity at the age of 22, 23, it happens, sir. But this year I was very well prepared. I gave more than a lot of one-on-ones, mocks as well for having that practice. And one thing I have learned over the interview preparation phase is that we have to be honest with ourselves and we have to be confident enough to stand up to what we believe is right. So in my case, in between the interview, I usually sweat a lot, sir. So when I started sweating, I asked the board humbly whether I can take a tissue, and the board was very happy enough to lend me a tissue, and as well as they asked me to remove my blazer, which I did, sir. So I feel like that showed my confidence in being myself. Even though I am sweating, I could have tried to hide it, but I told the panel that I am sweating because I usually sweat a lot under these conditions. So, and even when I was not able to answer nearly 8 to 10 questions, I said I don't know to 8 to 10 questions, and in one of the questions, they asked me like how many engineering colleges are there in Karnataka. I said 1,000. So the board corrected me and they said no, just 300. So the cordial nature that board made me feel, and my response was that I smiled and I asked, very sorry sir, like I didn't know, I just took a guess, sir. So when I said that, the board was also very happy that I am being honest with myself. So that is where the difference lies, sir. So that is, we should be confident, and in the end, I feel the interview is not about our knowledge, and sometimes it is not about our personality also. It is about the vibe that we can give to the board. If we can give the vibe that I am a positive person, that I can stay calm under the pressure, so then the board will reward us with good marks. So this is my understanding of interviews.
Wonderful. So you have gone through a process where you understood your mistakes and you worked on that specific idea to take things forward, and that has given you a lot of relevance in terms of how you are seeing things also. Further taking up, at the moment of this success, there's a lot of things that you're surrounded by, a lot of glam, glitter, newspaper and all that. But there are a lot of youngsters who are looking at that and getting, can I also do it? And I also want to do it. ಈ ಥರ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿತ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್, ಹಂಬಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ಸ್, ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿರೋರಿಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಯುವರ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್?
Sir, first message is that have a clarity. If you want to prepare for UPSC, start early. Because I have seen that so many people, they waste their time till their graduation, and when they join foundational coaching, they will be overburdened with the coaching as well as preparing NCRTs, then reading Polity, Lakshmikant books, the standard books and all. So it becomes overburdening, and then they start losing confidence about the process. So when we are in the college itself, if we could cover our NCRTs, which are very basic books, so if you are able to cover class 6 to class 12th NCRTs when you are in college itself, that helps immensely when we further join any foundational coaching or something like that after we graduate, sir. And at the same time, sometimes UPSC is a very long process. Sometimes it takes minimum 2-3 years to clear UPSC. I believe that UPSC takes minimum 2-3 years of dedicated preparation for anyone. Even if they are clearing for the first attempt itself, that means they have put in the 2-3 years of dedicated efforts in the college itself. So have the patience and have the perseverance and keep the momentum going. And sometimes people say only 5-6 hours of study is enough. I truly don't believe in that, because the competition has become so neck to neck that I personally know more than 30 people who are studying for 15 hours a day. So there are a lot of dedicated people who are putting their heart and soul into this examination, sir. If we are not giving our 100%, we will be left behind. That is the law of nature. So please put in the hard work. So if you are sure about your UPSC preparation, make sure that you are giving your 100%. And another aspect is that have a very good mentor or have a very good direction with respect to preparation. Sometimes brute force within the wrong direction won't give us the results. So having a right mentor who can guide us throughout this process will also become very important, sir.
Wonderful. So the idea itself is very clear in terms of, one, you have to start early, be very clear about the process, and once you're self-analyzing is very much necessary in terms of that. So we will take, and this will have a very long idea. We would definitely request Manoj to join us for a very detailed podcast where we can work on multiple things, break down those small aspects where you can know. At the end, one side there is a lot of success story, and there's a lot of talks about I have not cleared, I have failed. To a younger self who did not clear it, that you would have told something. And the same idea probably can help all those who are waiting for success, not clearing prelims, not clearing mains, not clearing interview. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಪಡ್ತೀರಾ?
Sir, when I couldn't clear in my second attempt, what I felt is that maybe I am not ready enough for the UPSC, because in the end, if I have to be an IAS, IPS officer, I have no room for error, no room for mistakes. So I have to be personally sharp enough and ready enough for the role that I will be taking as a civil servant, sir. So there I understood what mistakes did I do. In interview, it became too overwhelming. In mains, I could have done better in these questions or in these areas. So when I started introspecting about my preparation, where do I stand? So like my target was to complete this subject within 15 days. Why did I take 25 days? Like why did I get this particular MCQ wrong? Why didn't I add this particular example in this answer? When we start asking ourselves these questions, we start understanding the examination process better, sir. And in this process, I believe the peers that are around us matters a lot. I believe in a quote that is, you are the average of 5 people with whom you spend your maximum time with. That is, have a very dedicated peer group around you. So discuss answers, discuss prelims topics, discuss essay and ethics, discuss optionals with those peers. They will give different perspectives which you may not have. Even someone 5 years younger than you can come up with very good perspectives. So having a very good peer group also matters a lot, sir.
Wonderful. So that's a message going out for all of you who are preparing. You can definitely do. All that you need to is focus, and probably also do a lot of understanding while you're studying around as such. Final closing comments, if you want to say something to all these youngsters who are dreaming of a rank. This feeling of being an all India ranker itself is something that the whole world dreams for. And finally achieve ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಒಬ್ಬ IPS ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗೋ ಕಡೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. We always remember Manoj, who comes very straight, an NCC cadet, a C certificate holder in NCC. The tone with which he speaks is something that doesn't need any microphone. So as an IPS, when he is guarding a parade, when he is seeing as that, he will be something that the world will wait to watch. So wishing you a great career ahead, Manoj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And a lot of inspiration that many youngsters can draw. Thank you so much once again. All the very best as you take your journey forward.
Thank you, sir. All the best to everyone. Thank you.